what really happened, what triggered that decline, was we stopped burning. The natural progression of fire in the landscape was stopped, and there was this whole Smokey the Bear initiative and everything, and now we've come around. But in that time period of about 50 years or so or more, you know, the country was more divided up. You had roadways and stuff like that would stop backing fires. The fire actually kept the uplands pretty free of litter, and these are very sandy, permeable uplands, and so all the rain that would fall on the uplands would just soak in, and actually it's there was, because it's white sand, there's like almost no nutrient in the soil. So you have this seepage water that is nutrient poor, which is an ideal place for carnivorous plants to evolve. And so in the slopes that we're in it's kind of gentle topography, but wherever it's sloped away, then water would seep out. And then also centrally in these seep areas, there are these little creeks and streams that carry the water to the Coastal Dune Lakes and then out into the Gulf of Mexico. But the lack of fire allowed wetland hardwoods that mostly stayed in a shrub stage to actually take over. There wasn't the pruning by the fire, and the lack of fire also allowed duff to build up, litter and duff to build up in the uplands. So now when the water percolates down, it carries nutrient with it. And the tie loves the nutrient, but the pitcher plants and the orchids, those other plants don't need it. So now you've eliminated the pruning of these hardwood plants, and you're also feeding them. Then they begin to grow better, so now they start shading all the herbaceous plants. So everything is really suppressed on the herbaceous side, and it stimulates the growth of this unnatural stand of woody plants. And so what we're doing in this project is we're taking out all of that tie and clearing it so that the areas again can be open, the ground can be open to the sun, and it'll stimulate the herbaceous component. We're trying to restore the whole suite of plants. The focal species are these orchids and pitcher plants and butterworts and sundews, but we're managing for the natural community. And we are trying to get an herbaceous dominated community back, and right now it's an unnatural state of closed canopy hardwood. So, and like 2 or 3 species instead of 50 species. What we're driving through right now, this is sandhill with these turkey oaks and longleaf pine. This is sort of the catchment area, and we can have as much as 70 inches of rain a year in the panhandle here. And except when you have this really sustained, like tropical rain, almost everything that falls soaks right in. And we can get to a point where we have surface runoff, but most of the time all the rain is soaking in. The groundwater level rises up, and so then when the topography grades off, it actually begins to seep right out of there. And so that's these, and we're just moving into an area right here now where there's sort of a northwest stream that goes down, north-south, stream that runs up and down here. The reason we were able to actually get this funding, because no oil came up here in the woods, but the reason that we were able to get the funding is the water flow that goes out into the Gulf of Mexico. And actually, it doesn't only go out of the outlet of the Coastal Dune Lakes. There's what's called submarine groundwater discharge, and this entire landscape is percolating water through this sandy soil, and it goes under the dunes and out into this shallow incline, out the sandy surface. So if you go down in the sand, the salinity is 0. It's fresh water, and right up here it's 33 parts per thousand, and at that sand level there's sort of this flat if you can imagine sort of a flat estuary, this interface between fresh and salt water.
No.
And because the coastal dune lakes are utilized by snowy plovers and other shorebirds as nesting areas, and those birds are listed and their populations are in trouble, and the oil spill damaged those bird populations, we got the funding to do this.
That was really
that was a hook.
That was like, I don't know.